What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. And with this video, we are jumping into Captain Marvel issue number 36. This will be bringing the story arc to a close, and it will be the last of the Marvel. And what we have seen so far is Vox Supreme somehow using the DNA of Marvels. He has been recreating them in this dark Avengers type suit. He has been sending them out to kidnap any of the Marvels so he can put them under his control. That is, until Captain Marvel, she interferes. And now we have an all-out brawl. With the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy joining the fight, this victory is all but assured. Now be sure to buy the comics, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so we are picking up on New Hala. And right now we have Carol Danvers and Iron Man. They are back to back and they are fighting the forces of Vox Supreme. And when Iron Man came in, he knew that they were going to be jumping into a fight. They just didn't know how serious this fight was really going to be. And the biggest question right now is who are in the suits. This main suit, they are believing that this could quite possibly be Marvel himself. But as it stands, they have no clue. This is only an assumption by how he operates, by how he moves, and how he is fighting against them. And so while all-out chaos is breaking out all around New Hala, while this epic battle going on, we see one of these Marvel Dark Avengers give a great blast to the back of Carol Danvers. And taking this blast, she turns around and she uses one of her new abilities. That ability is more or less her being able to use her eyes as a source of blasting energy, much like Superman and his heat vision. Now at this point, Carol is starting to believe that she has been asking all of the wrong questions. The question that she should be asking is not who is this, not who is under the suit, but what is under the suit. And from this suit, the one that is supposedly Marvel, we see nothing but sludge pouring out of it. Calling over her sister, L'Oreal, they quickly both recognize this and confirm that it is the sludge. Recognizing how serious this situation really could turn, she tells her sister to bring Iron Man, Star-Lord, Moondragon, and Black Panther, that she is going to need these individuals for what comes next. And so while her sister goes out and gathers these individuals from the battlefield, Carol is also starting to recognize that her power is not really up to par. It's not 100%. She is feeling a tad bit drained, and this very well could be because of Binary, this sentient energy life form that she created with her own powers. Of course, this is just a running hypothesis, because this has never been done before. Captain Marvel has no idea what any of this means. Carol Danvers could simply just need a recharge after creating Binary. But with L'Oreal collecting everybody, this is when Carol begins to break down exactly what is going on, letting everybody know that they encountered this sludge in a Kree laboratory, some kind of microorganism the Kree had invented to eat lab waste. The only issue is that sludge, it had evolved. It was becoming more sentient, and with it eating all kinds of things to include DNA. Once Vox Supreme was able to get his hands on this, who knows what kind of science he used to manipulate this. And as they look around the battlefield, Carol cannot help but feel that this is just the beginning of what Vox Supreme has in store. Having Heather connect all of their minds together, this is where she gives out her battle strategy, with the plan now laid out and everybody ready and in their positions to do this fight. This is where we see the arrival of the one and only Emperor Hulkling, with him arriving, hearing rumors that maybe his father is still alive, maybe his father has returned. The Emperor had no choice but come and see if Marvel is actually here. But upon arriving, Carol lets him know that it's not in fact Mar-Vell, it is the sludge, and that Vox Supreme, he is the one responsible for everything currently going on, that it was just Mar-Vell's DNA twisted into a shape of him by Vox Supreme. And after Emperor Hulkling hears this information, he is more than ready to take down Supreme. And so with everyone in their positions, we see the fight begin to break out, giving Lori, Carol Danvers, Iron Man, and Binary enough time to go up to the machine that Vox Supreme had created. This is the machine that Carol had used to get the suits off of her before, hoping that Iron Man can amplify that sound. The end goal here is to hopefully break up this sludge into tiny little pieces using the sound reverberation. And so with Iron Man getting to work, Binary and Carol Danvers, the two of them, they head up to cut off Vox Supreme, knowing that once all of his minions have collapsed, once he has lost this battle, he will do what he can to escape. And so with the battle raging on, Iron Man is able to get the machine working, and in doing this, we see a giant blast coming out of it. Coming out in waves, it hits all of Vox Supreme's minions. And in doing so, we see the sludge begin to break apart into pieces. And this is where everyone does anything they can to isolate these pieces into little bubbles, to capture them, store them away, and try to figure out what to do with them next. Most of them, they have intentions of incinerating this stuff and ensuring it can't grasp on to anything else. But the Emperor also wants part of Mar-Vell's DNA, the one where we see his facial structure, locked inside of this bubble, hoping that that little bit of DNA that is inside of there, they can at the very least give him a proper burial. And so with Vox Supreme obviously being defeated, he does exactly what Carol believed he was going to do, and that is him taking off into space, trying to make his escape from New Hala. And without wasting any time, Carol and Binary, they are both directly on top of him, blowing his ship out of the sky. Vox Supreme was able to escape, and this is where he goes to take on both Carol and Binary. And as they battle, Captain Marvel is letting him know, why did you ever think that it was a good idea to kidnap all of these people and try to make them your slaves? To use this sludge and create these abominations. And of course, Vox Supreme, he believes that he is creating something more. He thinks he is creating something better. And he tells her that all of his creations, they are Mar-Vell, because this planet is rich in the seeds of his DNA and trace phoenix energies. Combining these together with his science, he was able to create more of a shell of Mar-Vell than actual Mar-Vell himself. But Captain Marvel also lets him know that Mar-Vell wasn't just his DNA. You have been so obsessed, so focused on that one aspect of this. But the truth is, what made Mar-Vell Mar-Vell wasn't his DNA. It wasn't something that could simply be made. And though she says this, Vox Supreme, he points out the fact that she just created something better than Vox Supreme could ever do. She created Binary using her own powers and her own energy. She did the thing Vox Supreme was only dreaming of doing. Because the truth is, Binary, she was birthed from the pure energy of Captain Marvel and then fused by the Mar-Vell and Phoenix-rich planet. And this made her something more, something bigger, something better. With Vox Supreme vowing that she will belong to him, we see Binary say her first words. That first word is her screaming no and letting out a ginormous burst of energy. A burst of energy that is so strong, we see Vox Supreme, he burst into pieces. With Captain Marvel saying congratulations not only on your first word, but taking out about Vox Supreme. Now that she is able to talk, Carol would like to know what she wants to be called. And of course, she goes with Binary. And so now with Vox Supreme defeated and all of the sludge displaced all over, they are doing everything they can to gather up as much of this sludge as they possibly can. The only issue is they are worried they're not going to find it all. Not only that, they know that Vox Supreme, he's probably not dead. They're going to gather up his pieces, but the truth is, they know that Vox Supreme, he is eventually going to make his arrival again. And so with Carol Danvers telling everybody that they can go ahead and leave New Hala, that she will go and find the remains of Vox Supreme. We have all of our Marvels, they are staying behind and they are here to help her, letting her know that the Marvels, they all need to stick together. And off in the distance, this is where we see some of the remains of Vox Supreme, but they seem to be getting taken over by vegetation. So we could see something vastly more end up coming from Vox Supreme due to him being blown apart. Because like he said, this planet is rich with the DNA of Marvel and it has traces of Phoenix Force energy. And so because of that, him being absorbed into the planet could have huge ramifications. But that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You guys know I am one of the biggest Captain Marvel fans. I absolutely adore everything Kelly Thompson has been doing on this series. I was extremely curious on what the next course of action was going to be for Carol, especially after the, I believe it is 2051 or 2052 time jump storyline where we jump to the end. Honestly, being one of my favorite stories of 2021, I was left wondering what comes next. And what we see is the return of Binary. And with her return, she appears to be something of her own. A sentient being with her own thoughts, her own words, her own personality. While she may pick up many traits from Captain Marvel, she has the potential to be greater than her because of her DNA and Phoenix traces that are really making up her composition. She has the potential to be the greatest Marvel that has ever existed. And something tells me that Binary probably isn't going to be sticking around at least for a very long time. But at least for the time being, we have Binary back. One of the strongest forms that Captain Marvel has ever taken is now working side by side with Carol Danvers. And so the next story arc is going to be very interesting, and it's going to be really awesome to see what direction all of this is going to be going in. Most of all, let's just hope that Carol's able to get an opportunity to take a break, because she has been non-stop going ever since the Empire event. She hasn't had a second to breathe. With the next issue being called Road Trip, something tells me that our Marvels are going to be having a lot of fun. But let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.